Hi, I'm Dean Bushmiller with Expanding Security, and this is Network Hardware Threats and Vulnerabilities. If this is your first vulnerabilities or threats video, please watch the free overview video. And if you're not seeing the full version, go to expandingsecurity.com. You can also get quizzes, badges, and this mind map with all the dynamic links in it. So let's get started. Now for network vulnerabilities and threats, I have a preview video that you might want to look at, and you'll know it because it's got this thing in it. From a threat standpoint, now we're trying to focus in on network vulnerabilities, threats, so we're going to take threats and vulnerabilities and redefine them here. From a threat standpoint, we're asking how they actually do it. This usually happens through things like counterfeit products or gray market. Now, this isn't such a big deal when we're talking about printer ink, like refilling a printer ink cartridge. But when we're talking about a sophisticated tool like a router and we're doing gray market or counterfeit products that are out there, this really does put the organization at risk. What we need to do is we need to realize that there are some cases where we're purchasing valid equipment SKUs, the serial numbers from what we think are the valid vendors, but we're getting them from invalid vendors. So we have to look out for that. And a lot of times, the valid vendors will go, oh, well, you can't buy any of that gray market stuff because it might not be any good, when the reality is it's actually pretty good. We just have to make sure that we're not getting counterfeit hardware that's out there. From a vulnerability standpoint, this is a little bit different. Now we're actually talking about flaws. This is hardware design flaws. These are true vulnerabilities that are built into the tools that we're actually purchasing. For controls, there's a lot of process involved in this. Sometimes it's about guns and guards and dogs, that physical security stuff that's out there. But this is all integrated with our digital controls. So if we have a vulnerability in the hardware and none in the digital controls, like the software or integrations with those physical controls, if we don't have anything there, we can attack it from the hardware level. Or if we have a vulnerability that's in the software and the hardware is good, then we can attack it from the software level. So we have to look at the entire supply chain there, and we'll deal with that when we go a little bit deeper and do our threat analysis on it. From a business value standpoint, normally what you'll hear me say is the business value is the data. No, in this case, the business value is the actual equipment that we're working with. So we have to adjust our strategies in the way that we think about our particular assets that we have. Now, here's the general rule for all of this. If you lose physical control over the asset, in other words, physical security, if I sneak into your place, you have to start over again, because I can walk through and just litter all sorts of stuff within your organization that you're going to have to clean out. So you really do have to start over at that point. From a strategy standpoint, let's hope you don't get to that. But if you don't get to that, what do? Well, you start off with layered defense model, sometimes this is called defense in depth. We start from the outside with putting in our controls, and we work our way in, and we add more controls as we go deeper and deeper inside of the organization. And we always put the most important stuff in the middle of our organization. People with least privilege stay at the edge, and we force them out. And you'll see that when we talk about the section on operational controls. Ultimately, our goal in all of this is going to be able to identify threats and vulnerabilities specific to hardware and networking hardware as we go along.